Hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. As promised, I had to do at least one more video from the Rancho. I spent a lot of time out here, or actually I went through periods where I spent a lot of time out here. Sometimes I'd go for months and just walk out here every once in a while, and I've had a couple of periods where I'm hanging out here every day. I remember last year I went through one where I was hanging out every night and watched the full cycle of the moon. So I like this little rancho. This rancho had a lot of potential. I've just never really had anybody in the house that, I don't know, that we talked about it and really decided to do something, hang out here very much. Could have put some hammocks out here, and also, I'm lazy. I don't get around to things sometimes. But anyhow, we're going to talk about being obsessed with raw vegan recipes today. Now, before I start this, please listen carefully. This is why I have to do, and you know, the reason I have to do all these disclaimers, and I'm going to share with y'all one of my little pet peeves this morning. Literal people drive me insane. Literal people slow down the conversation no matter what it is because they take little points. You can say a sentence that has 25 words and they can isolate on one point, interpret that, and take it to the most literal sense. A lot of times, just in life, and to be practical, we speak in generalities. There are generalities in life. Some people have to learn to understand that and stop being so literal all the time. So that's why you have to do disclaimers, because there's people, I don't know, there's people that just don't quite get being non-literal. So anyway, so nothing, but to start off, nothing wrong with recipes. I always love adding a great recipe to my repertoire, or at least getting a good idea. I get asked all the time, and a lot of times, you know, Instagram kind of is moving so fast. I don't get to respond to a lot of comments there. And to be quite honest, I just kind of like the quickness and click, dick, because, you know, I do Instagram on my cell phone. And to be honest, I ain't 15 years old. That whole thumb thing, I get technology a lot, but I don't have the thumbs of a 16-year-old. So I'm not real great about typing long things or whatever on the phone. So people sometimes on Instagram, they'll ask me, almost any time you post any sort of photo or video, recipe, you know, you'll see a whole litany of recipe. And one thing I can say is, a good bit of the time, I find recipes restricting. You know, for a while I took recipes and I followed them and I wrote my own recipes down. And then what would happen was, I'd want to make something again. I didn't write the recipe down. I'd forget it. And I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know the recipe. And I'd go back and watch the video. But as things have evolved, I've just started, like, I kind of have a loose idea. Like, I made my green soups from time to time. They can change up, you know. It's like I've just learned to play in the kitchen. I've learned, you know, okay, well, I got this ingredient instead of this ingredient. Well, I don't have this today. I'm going to put this in. And, well, if this will work, let's see what this in the refrigerator will do. And that's just what I do with a lot of my recipes. Listen, let me just say right off the bat, what I'm talking about here is, and I can see it in people through their comments to other people, mostly just in groups and whatever. And everybody knows that person that's just always about the next recipe. Anything that's shared, that person's on top of it. They want the recipe. Recipes ain't gonna get you there, Pookie. If you think that somehow knowing more and more recipes is going to all of a sudden make the raw vegan lifestyle click, and now I can do it because I like this recipe, it ain't gonna happen like that. And to be quite honest, a lot of these recipes out here, like, I take them as special occasion recipes. I file them away as something I'd make every once in a while, but most of the things that merit actually somebody telling you the recipe, well, except for Tanny Rao, who all her food is always tasty and low fat, so there's no guilt there. But most of the stuff is a little more special occasion, in my opinion anyway. I've just been, you know, like, keeping things even simpler and simpler lately. It has nothing to do with having the cheapo blender, but I mean, I'm not even blending very much. I'd say the last 3 or 4 days I'm just eating bananas. Like, I'm eating bananas. I've probably eaten about 6 or 7 this morning. I probably ate a good 15 or 18 yesterday. Now, that's a high day for me eating without having any bananas in a smoothie, but the recipes aren't going to get you there. You have to, listen, you have to learn how, the recipes, and it can move in a progression though, and you might want to let the recipe thing go at a certain time. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, in the beginning, get your recipes together. You're making a transition. recipes are a little bit more relevant in that transition because you're not used to this lifestyle yet. You know, you've still got the taste, you've still got some of that hangover from the SAD diet, the standard American diet, and some of those tastes left in your tongue. So what a lot of those recipes do is they kind of emulate taste other, you know, like recipes you're used to. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's actually a representation of something you like the lasagnas and the pastas and stuff like that. Or sometimes it's just something like, okay, you're missing the salt, so you use this natural, and you start playing. So the recipes in the beginning can have a very beneficial place because you're learning, so, and you're transitioning, and you need that tastier, and you need something. I would say the recipes and the mock stuff taste a little bit closer. Because they have that. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. They're more similar to probably what you came from. You know, you got a little bit of salt, you got a little bit of sweet, this and that. As you go on down the road, and as you progress, and as you clean up a little bit, you should, and that's probably something you should start looking for when you're 6 months, 8 months, a year into your journey. Your taste should simplify. Your taste should change over that time, over that year of switching to a plant-based lifestyle and letting your body cleanse out a little bit. I would say after you've been on this diet a year, if your taste haven't simplified at all, you might need some more, you know, you might need to think about a little bit of tweaking. But yeah, just don't, you know, like I say, don't anybody take this. I watch a lot of great recipe videos, and I take stuff from them, but once again, always remember what I tell you guys from time to time. I eat pretty much, you know, fruits and greens during the day, and then I pretty much only have like a 4 or 5, maybe 6 recipe rotation that I go through in the evening for dinner. And most of the time that's not even a recipe now. Like I say, it's just like now I've learned, you know, now I've learned for my soup, I can use a variety. If I can't get exactly what my original ingredients were, I can get a variety of things and make a soup with them. Oh my God, last night I made a green soup. I've never done this one before together for some reason. It was a fat day, so I had a full avocado, and I put about 2 ears of corn in there, so it was really good stuff. But anyway, in the end, like I say, just something to kind of put it in perspective a little bit for you. Don't be so obsessed with the recipes. Try to get yourself, even in the beginning, you really don't, I mean, you know, unless you're really a super kitchen whiz and you want to throw parties. Now, if you want to entertain and you want to spread this lifestyle through being a food person, that's great. Hell, going to school and be a raw vegan chef or a, you know, a high carb vegan chef. But, you know, just for your personal use, you know, even in the beginning, a 10 recipe rotation that's a lot. If I had a 10 recipe rotation, that would last me for, you know, I could go through that for years and years because I'm get on these patterns where I'll make something that I like it tonight and then I want it again, so I'll have it, you know, maybe 3 or 4 times within a week. But there's not a lot of shortcuts in this lifestyle, and like I say, I just wanted to mention that aspect because it's all about recipes, recipes, recipes on YouTube and on Instagram, and they're great, but they're not going to get you there. You've got to do the work. You got to get your body clean. And in the end, the simplicity will always win out. Fruit and greens, mono meals. I don't do as many mono meals, but I'm doing more. I'm doing a lot of banana mono meals these days. And, you know, simple, low fat in the evening, get a little bit of fat in, and you're good to go. And, you know, also too, one last thing on the recipes, and then I'm out of here, is when you do a lot of recipes, got to think more about combining. Less ingredients, less of a recipe, not so much worry about combining. Anyhow, just my thoughts for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And I hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you're having a wonderful week. Not quite sure. I'm just shooting videos now. I'm not sure when this is coming out. I could be in the air. I could be in San Jose. Who knows? Love you guys. Peace.